Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Amy. All right, you're going to have a problem with me today. Please don't be mad. We have a lot to accomplish. Today I'm giving you the questions from your later adolescent years, ages 15 to 18. So why are there so many freaking questions? Like 50. Okay, 55, 56 questions. Really, that's it. But why? Well, your later adolescence is a time where so many things happen that really set in motion much of your life as an adult. You're leaving childhood. You're possibly leaving home. You're leaving school. Or you're starting school. You're going off to college. Or you're getting a job, or you're becoming independent, or maybe just a little more independent than you ever were. All right? There's just a lot that goes on during this time in your life from age 15 to 18. If you think back, which you will if you do the questions, when you're thinking back and you're looking at it, you're going to be amazed. 3 years change. There was so much change in your life, all right? So I bring you questions 251 through 307. Okay. All right. 251. Did you live with your parents during later adolescence? If not, where did you live? Were your basic needs met in the home? 252. Did you have chores around the house? Were you given an allowance? Were you forced to work too much or too hard? 253. Did you get along with family members? Was the home environment warm and supportive, cold and rejecting, or too critical, or too close and controlling? Angry and abusive, or detached and chaotic? Number 254, were there problems with alcoholism or chemical dependency in the home? How much alcohol did you drink on a daily or a weekly basis? Which drugs were you using, if any? 255, what was your socioeconomic class during your later adolescence? Did you feel different or inferior? Number 256, were you involved in ethnic or religious activities? Were such activities a source of pride or shame? Number 257, how did you treat persons who were somehow different than you? Did you have friends from different backgrounds or life experiences? Number 258, were you involved in fighting, in vandalism, or any delinquent behavior? Were you ever arrested or detained? 259, were you preoccupied with your weight or your body size in later adolescence? Did you binge or compulsively overeat? Did you fast or starve at times? Have you used laxatives, diet pills, strenuous exercise, or vomiting to try and control your weight during these years? Did you have any major health problems? Number 260, did you have any major health problems during adolescence? Did your health affect your participation in school or social activities? 261, when did you receive your driver's license? Did you have your own car or did you use a family car? 262, were you involved in risk-taking activities, such as racing automobiles or motorcycles? Were you involved in any motor vehicle accidents? Number 263, what subjects did you enjoy in high school? What subjects did you dislike? And how did you do in high school? Number 264, were you involved in sports or extracurricular activities in high school? Did you receive any recognition or honor for your participation? Did you hold any offices or leadership roles? 265, did you graduate from high school or a vocational technical school? If you did not graduate, when and why did you drop out? Number 266, were you expelled or suspended from school due to fighting, stealing, or some other problem with conduct? Did you receive detentions? Did you ever cut class? Number 267, did you master basic skills in reading, writing, and arithmetic? Were you prepared to go to college, military service, or work? Number 268, what did your parents expect from you in terms of high school achievement? Were you punished or disciplined for problems in school? Number 269, were you involved in a college preparatory curriculum? Did you take college entrance exams? If so, how did you do on the exams? Number 270, did you take an armed forces entrance exam or a vocational aptitude test? If so, how did you do on these tests? 271, were friends or significant adults involved in your choice of college or occupation? Number 272, how did you get along with male peers? How did you relate to female peers? 273. What were the names of your best friends? Do you still have contact with any of these friends? What obstacles, if any, kept you from participating in close friendships? Number 274. How did you get along with your family members during later adolescence? What was it like at home during this period? Number 275. Were you involved in any religious activities during later adolescence? How did you feel about spiritual life? 276. What were your basic values during adolescence? Were you encouraged to make independent and responsible choices by your parents? Did other adults affect your moral development? Number 277. What was the expected behavior of males in high school? How did society expect females to behave? Did you fit into your prescribed sex role? Number 278. Did you feel inferior or different in comparison with peers of the same age and sex? Number 279. Were you attracted to members of the opposite sex? What did you find interesting or attractive about them? Number 280. Were you attracted to members of the same sex? What did you find interesting or attractive about them? Number 281. When did you start to date? What did you do on these dates? Were you scared or socially anxious? Number 282. What was the expected sexual behavior of men at this point in your life? What was the expected sexual behavior of females? 283. What was your father's sexual behavior, if you knew? What was your mother's sexual behavior, if you knew? Did you talk with either parent about sexual issues? Did you see or hear your parents involved in sexual activity? Number 264. Did you peep into the room when a family member undressed or bathed? Did you take underwear or articles of clothing from a family member's room? Number 285. Did you engage in voyeurism or spying on others engaged in undressing or in sexual activity? Number 286. Did you read pornographic magazines or watch X-rated movies or videos? 287. Did you watch violent movies or television programs? Do you think exposure to violence affected you? Coughing. 288. Did you expose your genitals to a stranger in order to shock them or to feel sexual satisfaction? 289. Did you make sexually oriented phone calls? If this was before the day of caller ID. And back in the day, did you call 900 numbers or sex talk telephone services? We had those. Lots of people use them. 290. How often did you masturbate during adolescence? Did you insert objects in the body? Did you use pornography or other materials during masturbation? What were the typical thoughts or fantasies during masturbation? Number 291. Were you involved in any sexual contact with a family member? Were you aware of inappropriate touching, exposure, or sexual contact between family members? Number 292. Were you the victim of date rape? Were you ever involved in unwanted sexual activity because of intoxication, threat, or coercion? 293. Were you raped or molested during adolescence? Who was the perpetrator? What was involved in the abuse? Number 294. When did you first choose to be sexual with a partner? There's a difference. When did you choose to be sexual with a partner? What was the situation? How did you feel about this sexual experience? Number 295. Did you take responsibility for birth control or sexually transmitted diseases? Did you or a sexual partner become pregnant? How did you deal with the pregnancy? Have you had a sexually transmitted disease? Number 296. How many sexual partners did you have during adolescence? Why were you involved in sexual activity? 297. Did you have a steady boyfriend or girlfriend during adolescence? How did you meet this person? How long were you together as exclusive partners, and how did the relationship end, if it did? Number 298. How did your parents and friends feel about your dating relationships in high school? How did your romantic and sexual behavior compare with your peers in high school? 299. Were you ever involved in sexual activities that you considered dangerous or unusual? Were you afraid or ashamed of your sexual behavior? Were there any legal consequences for your sexual conduct? Number 300, were you ever paid to perform a sexual act? Did you ever pay someone for a sexual outlet? Were you involved in taking sexually explicit photos or movies? Number 301, were you ever involved in sexual contact with someone who was 3 or more years younger? So younger than you, between the ages of 15 and 18. What were the circumstances of the sexual contact? Number 302, were you the victim of emotional or physical abuse during later adolescence? What were the circumstances of the abuse? Number 303, were there any major losses or changes during your later adolescence? Number 304, did you have any emotional or behavioral problems during later adolescence? Did you engage in self-destructive behavior or suicidal thoughts or behaviors? Did a doctor or mental health professional treat you? Number 305, did you have hopes and dreams about your future in the world? Did you know what you wanted out of work and love when you left school? Number 306, did an adolescent romantic relationship or friendship affect your plans as a young adult? And the last question, 307, which, as all of them have been a review of all the questions, reviewing your answers 251 through 306, what were the effects of adolescence and high school upon your personality and behavioral patterns? Did you have a sense of who you were and what you wanted out of life? Were you confused, frustrated, or apathetic? Did friends and family members accept you as an independent, unique person? Did you have a strong sense of self to make healthy decisions about your future? How did you feel about your sexuality and intimate relationships? Were you prepared to accept the challenges and the responsibilities of the adult world? Oh my God. Okay. So, I will be posting all the questions on Facebook and on Instagram. Our next video will be the last video for this module, for this life story module. It will be the last of the questions. And it will be questions that focus on you entering the adult world. So age 19 and beyond. All right? So, until next time, please subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share these videos with someone who you know may benefit from them. And hit me up on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Reach me, write to me, criticize me, call me names. I'm fine with all of it, really. All right? And until next time, be well.